pedophile mom in Ohio committed one of the most horrific crimes
This is The Paranormal Files is the name of the content creator.
I've ever read about. I'm going to add a trigger warning in here right now. This is a very, very disturbing story, so viewer discretion is advised. So this is Ashley Jessup from Ohio. And in 2012, she was found guilty of rape and sentenced to life in prison. But who did Ashley assault? Well, it was her own 10-month-old baby. At the time of this crime, Ashley was dating 24-year-old Jordan Russell. The two seemed to be very in love, and they frequently exchanged explicit materials over email and text message of themselves, obviously. But then in August of 2011, Jordan asked Ashley to do something shocking. He asked her to perform explicit acts on her own 10-month-old baby son. And obviously he wanted her to film it and send it to him so he could keep these videos and images. And for some shocking reason, Ashley actually obliged. And she performed graphic and gruesome acts on her own son. So later that month, Jordan had actually broken up with Ashley, and he already had a new girlfriend. And this new girlfriend of Jordan's was going through his computer when she discovered these extremely disturbing images and contacted the police. So obviously when the details of this case were made public, everybody was absolutely shocked. And the judge in this case actually stated that in his 30-year career, this was one of the most bizarre and disturbing cases he had ever had to cover. So Ashley was eventually convicted of a litany of charges, including assault, rape on a minor, everything like that. And she's still in prison to this day, serving out that life sentence.
Nice.
Now, this is a really, really disturbing story, and I really do think that she should be in prison for a very, very long time.
Forever. Keep her there. She doesn't need to go out. There's no need. There's an alarming amount of people that do stuff intentionally to their children because of the person that they're with. It is so weird to me that it's just such a crazy concept. But this knocks it out the park. I don't even know what to say about this person. Just it's 10 months. It's not even a year old. Why is his picture not here? Why is it not? Why doesn't it say there the pedophile mother and her boyfriend? Why is it only her? I understand that she's the mother of the child, but why is it only there's texts? She sent it to him. Why is he not mentioned here? He's just as guilty as she is. Why isn't that not weird? I get that maybe the video was about her exclusively, but they didn't even show a picture of him. And I'm not saying it's this content creator's fault. I'm saying in a general sense. At no point did wherever the source of information he got this from mentioned that he was charged or that he's anything. They just said that she's been charged with a life sentence for this. That is extremely unfair, especially if that's the case and this person did not go to jail. Another example of how sometimes that tip imbalance is the whole thing, and we find ourselves with a lack of a proper judicial court system actually working, because if it's only her and not him, then we're gonna have serious issues. It's pretty obvious that he should be in jail. Take him to the gulag. I'm not lying. It's true. You're absolutely correct, Ducking. But am I not right on this part? Is it not isn't it kind of weird that the whole sentence was not the mother and the boyfriend? I feel like there's just a little bit too much emphasis on the fact that it's the mother of the child, which is horrendous in every single sense, but maybe we don't know all the details of the case. Who knows? Moving on.
Let's talk about what happened to...
This is Veronica K. K-A-A. Kaaay. So Veronica is the content creator. Let's check out her video.
Let's talk about what happened to 13-year-old Rachel Mellon Skimp. She was born on October 13th of 1982 and lived in Melrose Park in Illinois. At the age of 3, her parents divorced and her dad moved to Dallas and her mom stayed with her in Illinois. Eventually, her mom started seeing a man named Vincent and eventually they got married and had 2 children together. Rachel was described as a bubbly person with a great sense of humor. She was the life of the party and was always the most beautiful girl in the room. On January 30th of 1996, Rachel was at school and was having a normal school day, and as the day went on, her friends noticed that she was crying by her locker, so they went to go ask what was wrong. She said she was having a problem, but that she was going to fix it herself, and that is all she said. The following day, on Wednesday, January 31st, Rachel decided to stay home from school because she was having a sore throat and was feeling kind of sick. So her mom left to work and her stepfather was going to stay home because he wasn't working at the moment. Rachel called her grandma to thank her for the Christmas gifts that she had sent her, and this call took from 4 to 5 minutes, and her grandma said that this phone call was completely normal, nothing out of the ordinary, but she did notice that at one part in the phone call, Rachel was kind of quiet, and her grandma said, "Is he there?" referring to her stepfather, and she said yes, and then Rachel told her grandmother that she needed to hang up. Her stepfather stated that they played the Nintendo before she decided to go up to her room and take a nap. So when she was upstairs taking a nap, he decided to take the family dog for a walk, even though it was 20 degrees below zero. So he left at 2:30 p.m. and then ended up coming at 3 p.m. He said the reason that he took a while is because the dog broke free from the leash and he was not able to get him, so he just figured that the family dog would just find his way back eventually. At 3:15 p.m., Vincent's youngest daughter comes home and she goes straight to Rachel's room to greet her, and that's when she realizes that Rachel's not even there. So the youngest daughter tells her dad that it seems that Rachel is missing, that she's not even in her room, but he just doesn't seem to care. So once her mom gets home, the youngest daughter tells her that Rachel's missing from her room, so that is when her mom decides to call 911 and report her as missing.
Okay, this has a part 2. But she doesn't have it posted in here. I'm not gonna go into her account. So let us just get an answer really quickly as to what happened. Okay, so this is Rachel Mellon. Okay, so let's see. I'm reading off of True Crime Diva. Okay, so Rachel disappears. She spoke to her paternal grandmother, which is what the content creator just said right now. Okay, so she lived at the point where the mom returned to the home at around 5 or 5:30 p.m. She noticed Rachel missing, and she called the Bolingbrook Police Department about an hour later. Rachel's disappearance allegedly occurred between 2:30 p.m. and 3:15 p.m. when the stepdad was quote-unquote walking the dog, and the dog got loose and whatnot, and he had to chase behind him, and that's why he was, 30 to 35 minutes late, or he took about 30 to 35 minutes in total to walk the dog. But the disappearance, like we just read, occurred between 2:30 and 3:15. Let's see. So Mellon claimed he and Rachel played video games, then Rachel took a nap in her bedroom. He took the German Shepherd for a walk at 2:30 p.m. and he left the door unlocked. He said the dog slipped off its leash and chased a rabbit. Mellon returned home about 30 minutes later. A neighbor and a businessman found the dog and took the pup home. Mellon told the police he did not check on Rachel when he returned, a strange thing not to do when a child is sick. It's unknown whether any witnesses saw Mellon with the dog. Let's see. So police noticed scratches on Mellon's body, which he claimed came from working on his car. Jason and Ashley said their father was in the garage when they returned from school. However, police never searched the garage or the vehicle Mellon allegedly repaired, according to Skemp. Authorities extensively searched for Rachel in the area, but found no signs of the teen or clues about her whereabouts. Let's see. So Rachel's coat, clothes, money, and Walkman remained at home. The only items missing from the house were Rachel's blankets and pillows. Okay, so let's see. Authorities also investigated a theory that relatives had taken Rachel out of state. They said that she could have been at her sister's house in Mississippi, but they didn't find her there. They also investigated whether the family had taken Rachel to the Philippines, but they found nothing. Okay, listen to this. The plot thickens. In March 2000, investigators found Rachel's diary and offered no explanation why it took 4 years. In an entry on August 7th, 1995, listen to this. Rachel wrote that her stepfather had kissed and touched her inappropriately, warning her against predators and saying that it should not be done until she was older. Mellon has a criminal history that includes domestic violence. Let's see. He was charged with, this was in 2006, he was charged with 3 counts of domestic battery, 1 count of battery. He pled guilty and he only served 25 days in jail. He had a domestic battery charge in 2003 and a DUI in 2005. Okay, let's see. Trying to see just at what point they were able to finally pinpoint that it was him, or if it was him. Oh, okay. I guess not. The grand jury did not indict Mellon or Rachel's mother. Police have never charged Mellon with Rachel's likely murder, but he remains the prime suspect. He and Amy Mellon relocated to Tennessee sometime after the grand jury. Wow. Yeah, theories are that he killed her and disposed of her body elsewhere. Said that she could be buried somewhere, but nothing. It's just like nothing specific. Whoever did it was able to get away with it. I'm convinced it was a stepdad. What do you think? I mean, I there's no one else to blame. He was the only one that was there at the house during that time, and coincidentally, he went out to walk the dog. Come on, I don't buy that. I don't think any of us that watch true crime cases would ever buy something like that. But apparently the grand jury did, and he is out and about, and this child remains disappeared with no indication of the case ever being resolved. Wow. All right, moving on to the next one.
Cannibal.
This is the Cheerleading Hub. That's the name of this content creator. Yeah, pretty crazy, huh, Duggan? Especially the fact that he's still at large. He's living his life. He has a family. He apparently lives in Tennessee now, and another Casey Anthony. Wow. And I mean, you can't say that it only happens. I mean, not you specifically, Dom. I mean, like in general, like no one can say that it's just, I guess some type of like leniency that they gave Casey Anthony because she's a woman. Because in this case, this guy's a dude, and his stepdad, he got away with that shit. So it's not a matter of if it's a woman or a man that does it. It's the actual court system that just needs work done on it. It needs some sort of improvement, because it can't be possible that even within there being some sort of evidence, he was the only one there. He's out free. Same with that other lady, fucking crazy lady, Casey Anthony. Whatever. All right. The cheerleading hub. Let's see what she has to say.
Cannibal killer Austin Harrop has just been found not guilty of murder by reason of insanity. If you don't know, in 2016, Austin had just finished up his freshman year at Florida State, and on August 16th, he was out to dinner with his family when he suddenly got up and left without saying why. And here you can see him on security footage leaving the restaurant just after 8 p.m. He walked more than 3 miles before coming across the residence of John and Michelle Stevens, who were just enjoying the night and having a beer in their garage.
Yes,
and here you can see John in the garage that he'd practically transformed into a hangout for himself and his wife. But before...
This is a very sad case. This is a very sad case, and 150%, the victims had absolutely nothing to do with the perpetrator. They didn't even know this person. They had no contact. They had never seen him before. They were, well, let's hear what she has to say.
But before John or Michelle could even realize what was happening, a neighbor heard awful screams coming from the driveway. Authorities responded to the scene to find 2 dead bodies and Austin attempting to eat the face of one of his victims. Authorities almost had to kill Austin because he wouldn't stop, and after his arrest, he claimed to have no memory of the murders or why he did it. In previous weeks, he reportedly went from a normal, outgoing college student to believing he was half animal and half man. Austin had actually moved his bed into their family's garage to avoid demons and would patrol the house at night instead of sleeping. At the time, he had just trace amounts of marijuana and alcohol in his system, and the prosecution actually agreed that he was truly in a psychotic episode at the time of the attack. Cannibal killer Austin Harrop has just been found not...
They were just sitting there, having a beer, having a conversation. He went up to one of them. He just started attacking one. I think he attacks him first, the husband, and then he goes and he kills the wife, all in the garage. Yep, and 100% everything she said there was exactly what happened. I remember seeing this case on That Chapter. That's another excellent content creator here on YouTube. I saw the video he made about that case quite some time ago. Yeah, it popped up in my head once I saw the couple and the house. It's like, yeah, I remember watching this. Whether it was a psychotic episode or not, I personally will go down the road of it being sort of a psychotic episode. Cannabis doesn't help. And this is coming from someone that smokes a lot of weed. I have always had that in my mind that weed is only enjoyable to a certain point, but it doesn't work for everyone. I'm not saying that that's the cause for it, but not everyone, especially if you are going through some like really bad like mental health episodes or like a mental illness and whatnot, cannabis is just does not fucking work at all. I know a few people in my life that they wish they could smoke, but because they have to take like different sorts of medications and whatnot, they stay away from weed, and they tell me like straight up, it just makes me feel worse, and it doesn't have that same reaction that it has for like other people. Same with alcohol too, but specifically cannabis. Again, I'm not blaming it for it being the cause of this happening. We don't know. Who knows what was going on through this person's mind? Obviously, this person was not right in the head. If they were not sleeping, they slept in the garage because he thought that there were demons inside of the house, and he would patrol the house at night to keep said demons away. So there's a history already behind it. I don't think that weed helped in this case. Very sad. Very sad. Again, they were just minding their own business. They were just sitting in their garage of their home. That's it. There was no confrontation. There was no conversation. There's nothing that happens before. There's not a path to follow to be able to get to some sort of answer. It just happened. And I think that's scarier than there having been a motive or something. Because it just literally happened. Very sad. Moving on.
Lawyers.
All right.